Before we get into the information, everybody, I want to let you know that the video is done. I'm adding this addendum at the beginning because when I finished the video and I went into editing, I realized that the sound balance was way off, that there's something going on, that the sound is really hard to listen to, in my view. I warred with myself of not even releasing this piece. But the thing with me is if I don't release this piece, I won't do it at all. As I always say to you all, I speak directly from my soul in life. And that's no different. There's no difference for me in my activity on social media. Everything in my life is right out of me at that moment. So if I was to do it over, so I can't do it over because it won't be right out of me. I will consciously and subconsciously be trying to say the things I've already said. That's not pure. That's not pure. And something I always quote from my grandmother. She used to always say, my whole life growing up, what comes from the heart reaches the heart. That's why I say it to this day and why I live by that. Because of her. So I didn't want to not do this topic. But the only way for me to do it is to present to you what came out of me. Otherwise, I can't do it at all. So I'm deeply disappointed. I've tried to put some buffers and things after the fact on the sound to make it a little easier for you. But just bear with it if you can, everybody. And because this is what came out of me. So I offer that because I think that the message of what I have to say is greater than the quality of the sound. I'll see you soon. What's up, everybody? This is the Jedi. Greetings to you all, wherever you may be watching and listening from. First, an apology that I have not succeeded in getting to a live event. Today is Sunday, and I thought I would be able to get it done today, but alas, as is the nature of my life, I usually have to just surrender to it. But hopefully I will have an opportunity to be live with you soon. I was going to say tomorrow, but it just feels cheap if I say it. Because I don't see any reason why I can't do it tomorrow. But again, I didn't see any reason why I couldn't get it done over the last several days. Anyway. I am looking forward to being live with you guys and having discussion about a range of topic and knowing what's going on in your thoughts and how you're experiencing everything, quite frankly. You know, since the selection on Tuesday, the selection. And I made my contribution. I did my I Told You So video. I told you guys Trump would win. I've been saying that since 2020. And I was right for all the reasons that I proclaimed, both before and after. But I've been exposed to a lot of response from black women. You know, before the election, I didn't really it was just background noise, really. You know, it was it wasn't something I really focused on. At some point I felt like they were probably trying to pit black women against black men and pit black women against white women and all this. But my focus was not on that. Was not on that element of all of this. While at the same time, I could surely understand and absorb that this would be something that would be of merit for particularly black women. But we had such a go around with whether or not Kamala is black, is she black, ain't black. We went through all of that. And I came down on the side of she's not black, but I also offered that two things I offered. A, we should have just claimed her and be like, yeah, she is black. Because that's how white folks gonna see her anyway. We should have just been like, yeah, she black, even if we didn't think it. And then embraced her and then owned her. And then tried to use all of our ability to control her and thereby policy that would be good for African people. That's one. Number two, I thought that she's a woman, so that should have some value, and I do believe that there needs to be a woman president in this nation. It just needs to be the right woman. I've said that. And interesting too, I'm thinking just even as I'm speaking to you, that we didn't make any distinction about Barack's gender. Is that because it's just a given that a man is going to be president? And so there was no need for even black women to say or even think that this was somehow specific to black men. Was Barack's election specific to black men? No, we didn't hear that anywhere in the community at all. It was just, we finally have a black president. That's just what it was, And so why then, if Kamala had been a actual 100% undisputable black woman, would we have felt the same way? Would it just been like, this is another black president? Or is it that it's a woman president? Because whether you like it or not, it seems to me that the gender does play a role when it comes to the woman. Because subconsciously, no matter how much this society, certainly white people, have tried to obliterate gender and gender roles, traditional roles ordained by God, there is still the calling of the spirit, and it can be conscious or subconscious, meaning you can acknowledge it or you can ignore it, but it's going to be. And I think maybe that's an element here, because a woman doing anything on earth just looks different than a man doing anything else on earth, So, and because there's only been men as presidents, we have to add that factor. Because if she had been a 100% black woman, then, and let's say Barack's election never happened, would we be saying we'll have the first black president? Or would we be saying we're having the first woman president? Or would we be saying we're having the first black woman president? Like, how would we, how would it break down? Because we didn't say we're having the first male black president. We just said we got the first black president. know. I offer this as an invitation for you into my ongoing thought, more so than a proclamation, really. Um, but there is a strong feeling that I'm discovering now of many very cogent, sophisticated black women that I've been able to experience and view and hear. And it has given me that sense of many black women were, we heard the loud voices, shame black, shame black. We heard that. That's fine. We heard it. But there's this other class of black woman, you know, sophisticated and educated and thoughtful and reflective. And what I hear from those women is they embraced her essentially as a black woman. And that this was now going to be a victory for them. But again, goes back to what I say about white society obliterating male and female roles and genders and all of it. So hold that as I add this to that. So that this was going to be a victory for them. But I also sense, and I think I know, but I'll humbly say I sense, that it wasn't just about a victory for them as women, but that this was the best choice for the society. Because black women have a sense of community in a way that is unique. That this is why certainly every black woman I've ever known and know are all wonder women. They can do it all. They can do many things all at once. Their temperament and all of that is really something. And so I think that they would have been willing to sacrifice a personal victory if this was not the right choice for the society. Like, if this wasn't going to be good for the society, then we're not so pressed to take a personal victory just so we can say we got a woman president, you know? And I didn't have to think about this stuff in 2016 when it was Hillary. Well, I call her Sniper Fire. I didn't have to think about this with Sniper Fire because I don't really have a connection to white women. I don't sense I don't sense anything from them, you know, like they aren't a negative, non-significant, non-existing factor in my existence on earth. Like I care more about the gum stuck to my shoe than I would care about a white woman. Like it just means nothing. And I don't feel those echoes or either their need or their strife or their joy or anything. I don't have any relationship to that. I only have relationship to black woman and black womanness. And I feel that. And so for that reason, I do feel that it is black women who have and continue to not only hold us all together in our community. You know, I've said, and I'll continue to say this till my last breath on earth, there is nothing on earth that we as black men could ever achieve without a black woman. It's not possible. I challenge brothers all the time and say, I want you to start today. And in 2 weeks, I want you to call me and tell me how you got through them 2 weeks without a black woman affecting your existence in some way. Go and do it and come back and tell me what happens. And nobody succeeds. You know? It could just be you're at the checkout counter and you 25 cents short and that sister's digging in her purse. I mean, it could be something that even that little, you know. But how our women have taken up the slack for us, how they have allowed us even to be as trifling as many of us are, you know, bearing the weight of the impact of many things upon our community has been our women. And so there is a profound sense of loss and, dare I say, betrayal that I sense a lot of our women are experiencing since this selection of this criminal. And then as just blackness, they also had to deal with the other layer outside of their femininity and their womanness. They have to deal with just what we can all experience, and that is no black man, no black person could act and be and do and say all the shit that this bastard has done and is doing, and has over 100 indictments and 34 convictions for felonies, for even get to all of his other crap. And then we also learned that he wears a diaper. He's had some sort of a gastro issue for many, many years, long before he came onto the political scene. And many people were giving statements about how he literally smells like shit. Literally. He was even thrown out of a very high-end restaurant many years ago because he was literally stinking up the place. This is the truth. So it was also that, the hypocrisy of it all. Because not only did Barack have to run the perfect campaign, as any African person would, but then he was elected, and for 8 years he couldn't even center on his blackness. He couldn't make a mistake. He couldn't say anything wrong. He couldn't anything. And that just, the thought of that exhausts me. So you add that to everything else that our women are experiencing with this event. It's very profound. It's profound. And because our women exist, they have and are saving, which we can attribute this to black people in general, but again, you have to give rank, degrees, if you will. Degrees is, I think, the better word. You have to give degrees of that, because just because 4 people are pushing a car, somebody's pushing harder than the rest. We're all pushing and it's moving, but somebody's getting the most, having the most weight, you know. So it is our women who've not only saved and continue to save us, but to practically save this damn country. Because white people have no compass at all. They are the most reckless and pathetic thing that exists. They ruin any space that they're in. It's just scorched earth. Wherever they're at on earth, or wherever their stench is, that they're scorched earth. They're without morality. And and therefore, without morality, you can't have moral action. You know, there's no spirituality there. There's no God consciousness and things like that. They're just flapping in the wind, really. I want to play this because I thought what Eddie Claude Jr. had to say was echoing of this, but also what really tipped me over to even more with his comments was that there is a sister that's sitting at this table, and I want to make sure we focus also while we hear what he's saying and the white bitch. We also want to notice the nonverbal communication of our sister that's sitting there, because that's another power of our women. You can tell by a sister how she just hold herself. She's making a statement just with that before she even do anything with her face or say anything. That we know already. We all came from black mamas. You understand? We know. But it's just a unique thing that our women have of being able to communicate non-verbally and tell you a whole chapter of something, and they don't have to even open their mouth. They've said it. So let's hear this in its total, because I want to critique this whole thing, but I also want us to pay attention to the sister that's sitting at the table. Let's go.
There's this sense, right, that whiteness, right, is under threat.
Well, okay, I'll just play it through and then we'll come back. All right, because I want you to have your own impression first time through, and then I will speak on the next time through.
There's this sense, right, that whiteness, right, is under threat. The demographic shifts. The country isn't what all of these racially ambiguous children on Cheerios commercials are confusing the hell out of me.
Hey, a lot of people voted because their life's too damn expensive, and it was here, and
they voted for. You're telling me, Steffi, that all of these people who believe that their lives are, that bread is too high and eggs are too high, that they voted for a convicted felon, a guy who said we can grab the pea.
I think that a lot.
They voted for this guy.
I'm not defending it. But I think there are tons of people that don't pay attention to, and I'm not defending it, don't pay attention to politics at all. But while we live in the most prosperous country in the world, people are saying, life's not fair, I'm not doing well, my son's still living in the basement, I can't seem to get a job, I don't like the status quo, I'm voting for something else, and he
I love you to life, but I do not believe that. I cannot believe that. And the reason I think you believe it is because you don't want to believe that that's what's really motivating them. It's always the case. People don't want to believe what the country actually is, because if they believe it, they're going to have to confront what's in them. I don't believe that. They voted for a crook, a person who they know is stealing from, just doing everything to undermine the so-called country that they love. And then they're telling us the BS that it's economics. We know that's not true.
That was the end of the clip. Now, let us analyze.
There's this sense, right, that whiteness.
Notice this sister, you see how she's looking at him? You see how she's looking? To this dude, it's just, he's totally disconnected because he's a white devil. So this is just like he's hearing white noise. He can't even, so strike him from just even your view. Focus on the sister.
There's this sense, right, that whiteness.
Watch her nod.
Right, is under threat.
You see that? We'll see it again. You see she's nodding.
There's this sense, right, that whiteness, right, is under threat.
But at the same time, her look is, I've been saying the same thing. You see?
Right, that whiteness, right, is under threat.
You see that? Let's go on.
Demographics.
And by the way, I said to you guys, this is about whiteness. It's about whiteness. It's not about policy. White people have never gave a fuck about policy. And we have all the evidence on earth to show and prove that they are willing to vote against their own interest if it's going to benefit the niggers. You see? It's all about whiteness. And how many millions of times have I told, certainly thousands of times have I told you over the years, that it's always about race for these people. While I hear black people always trying to dodge around race, and I don't want to play the race card, I don't want to seem like I'm bringing up race. Fuck that. Everything, when you get this, your life will be easier. Hear this. Everything for white people is about race. Everything. Everything is about race for them. And particularly focused on us. Because we are the ones they are most jealous of. Do you understand? Everything is about race. And they are always the ones to bring up race first before you even get to it. So always remember that. It's always about race. And it's always us and them with these people. It's always us and them. That's how they think. That's how they think. I know it and they know it. You need to get there. Let's go on.
Correct. The demographic shifts. The country isn't what all of these racially ambiguous children on Cheerios commercials.
What I did full pieces in recent time even, showing you how they're forcing this, even before they started really pushing this gay agenda bullshit, they were pushing this interracial shit. You have I've shown you commercials where the father is a black man and the wife is like, we don't really know if it's a white bitch, and the kids are, we don't even really know. There was even I think it was a Cheetos commercial or something, where it's a black father at the hospital, his wife is on the bed, she's going through like she's giving birth, oh my God, and boom, out pops a black baby. You see? I mean, it's an assault on us. It's an assault. While telling you that we're choosing white women, the fact of the matter is most black men are with black women. Let's just understand that detail. Let's just understand that. The NBA doesn't represent all of the black community or the NFL. Most black men are with black women, period, fucking end. You understand? While there's much commentary to be made on these brothers that pick the most dowdiest, fatty, stankin' ass looking ass white bitch they could find, as long as she white, but they want perfection from the sister. That's something else that's not we're here to adjudicate. But we have made that prosecution and will continue in the future. Let's go on.
The demographic shifts. The country isn't what all of these racially ambiguous children on Cheerios commercials are confusing the hell out of me.
Eddie, a lot of people voted.
But you hear how she came in. Eddie, a lot of people voted, like as if to say, that's not true. That's what she's really saying. That's not valid. That's not true. That's what her tone is. It is. Excuse me.
A lot of people voted.
A lot of people voted. Hear this now.
Because their life's too damn expensive. And it was here and it
They voted for, you're telling me.
She's trying to deny the racial component because, wait for it, class, because she's a white bitch. Probably a Zionist, no less. But go on.
And it was here and it
They voted for, you're telling me, Stephanie, that all of these people who believe that their lives are, that bread is too high and eggs are too high, that they voted for a convicted fella.
Thank you. And I'm the only person out here saying on planet Earth, they still not over OJ. And he's dead and gone now. They still are not over OJ. They've told you you can't listen to R. Kelly's music anymore, or you shouldn't. They've decided that even though a jury of all fucking white people found Michael Jackson not guilty and said nothing to see here, they still want to destroy his legacy. And you can't even hear a Michael Jackson song on the damn radio. They've told you that Diddy and all his baby oil is the worst thing on earth that's ever happened. Oh my God. While they vote for a white fucking devil, a convicted felon, a convicted sex offender, thank you, who is 78 years old, over a 60-year-old, virile, youthful, educated woman. Huh? Who thinks Diddy could run for president right now? Who thinks this? Who? Tell me. Who thinks it? Huh? Can R. Kelly run? Can he run? Well, let's just start the campaign finance now. Are we going to run R. Kelly? Can we run him? Can we get signs made up for R. Kelly? Can he run? Huh? I've said to you, and I'll continue to say, because it is the truth, because that's the only thing I proclaim from my face. White people are the definition of hypocrisy. There's no need for the word to even exist, but for the fact that they exist. The definition of hypocrites and hypocrisy. And that's also why you should watch everything that comes out of the mouth of these stinking people in Israel. Because they are white people. And you need to know that this is how they all think. Don't separate them from their own damn people. Don't do that. Because you're making a critical intellectual error if you do that. And denying yourself the opportunity to make a valuable assessment of the society in which you live. Don't do that. Just because they're in another country, if we're going to call it that, because it's really heisted land, just because they're somewhere across the Atlantic and speak with some little accent, this means nothing. Those are still white people. Still. And the cause of all the bullshit on planet Earth. Do you know that all the countries that voted for a ceasefire months ago were all non-white nations? America sent that black bitch who's got a white Zionist husband to deny it. And then all the other European white countries abstained. Huh? Well, the quote goes that the hottest places in hell are reserved for those who in a time of moral crisis maintain their neutrality. So they can abstain all they want. Basically, they agree, as do all white people. They agree. You remember the uproar when one little Ukrainian had a chipped nail. Oh, we have to do everything for the Ukrainians. Because they were white. And you saw they didn't care that they spoke with Ukrainian accents and shit. They recognize, their white asses here recognize that those are white people too. So I'm just telling you what's consistent when I tell you notice these motherfuckers in Israel. They still white too. And the only difference is they're killing non-white people. So it's all fine. They just can't find a ceasefire. Just can't find it. They've looked under every rock. They looked under the bed. They're checking in closets now, I'm being told. And they just cannot find a ceasefire. Can't find it. They're looking feverishly for it. They cannot find a ceasefire. Let's go on.
A guy who said we can grab the peak.
I think that a lot
They
of
voted for this guy.
I'm not defending it, but
I'm not defending it. And then watch her.
I think there are tons of people that don't pay attention to, and I'm not defending it.
And I'm not defending it, which means you're absolutely defending it. You see? This is why you never hear me say the phrase, let me play devil's advocate. Because in my life, there is no room for a fucking devil. You understand? No room for a devil in my life. That's a phrase you will never hear me utter. You'll never hear me utter that. Because people that utter that, because that's what she's basically saying. Let me play devil's advocate. That's what she's essentially saying. And anyone who does that means that they have some relationship to the opposing view. And the opposing view is usually some bullshit. You see? You'll never hear me say, I can't lie. I'm not going to even lie. That means you're standing in front of somebody who's a fucking liar. Get away from them. Your character either is or it is not. There is no in between. And little things like that reveal the true nature of the spirit of a human being, in my observation. So, again, she says twice, and I'm not defending it. And I'm not defending it. But you are. Because she doesn't want to be associated with that. Because she knows that is some bullshit. Let's go on.
That a lot
They voted for this guy.
I'm not defending it. But I think there are tons of people that don't pay attention to, and I'm not defending it, don't pay attention to politics at all. But while we live in the most prosperous country in the world,
no, you don't live in the most prosperous country in the world. You don't. You see how little things like that come across? That didn't even affect you at all. But that's why the Jedi speaks. And this is what I mean when I tell you about being the captain of your vessel and standing at your gate. It's everything that comes at you that is not of you. Whether you're watching something, you're listening to something, you're experiencing something, you've got to be the captain of your vessel. Be the one who's understanding what is coming at you in any form. So, that's not what we're focusing on. But I hear everything. And I pay attention. So even something that small. We live in the most prosperous country on earth. You don't. You don't. Tell me when they pull diamonds out of the earth in America. I'll just wait for it. I'll have lunch while I'm waiting. Because I'll wait. I've got time. I can wait. Well, I'm going into a meeting in an hour. But I can wait. When did they pull gold out of the ground in America? When did that happen? When did they do it, everybody? Where is it? Well, where is it? Where is it? When they pulled magnesium and lithium out of the earth in America, where's the uranium? Where's it at? Where's the bauxite? Where's the nickel? Huh? Where's the manganese? Where's the coltan? Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? Just can't find it. It's right up there with that ceasefire. Can't find it. You live in the most thieving fucking nation on earth. The most violent nation on earth. The most evil nation on earth. The seat, the throne of Satan is where you live. Be clear about your address and your geographic location. I had to point that out. Let's go on.
Defending it. But I think there are tons of people that don't pay attention to, and I'm not defending it, don't pay attention to politics at all. But while we live in the most prosperous country in the world.
You don't. Go on.
People are saying, life's not fair, I'm not doing well, my son's still living in the basement.
That there. Who amongst us has a basement that our son could live in? I just wait for that. Huh? Because that statement suggests home ownership. You'd be in a home to have a basement to live in. And we know what the numbers are of African American home ownership. Well, we just know it. So no sons in basements really going on. You see what I'm saying? Again, detached white bitch. Detached. Detached. Let's go on.
I'm not doing well. My son's still living in the basement. I can't seem to get a job. I don't like the status quo. I'm voting for something else. And
I love you to life, but I do not believe that. I cannot believe that. And the reason I think you believe it is because you don't want to believe that that's what's really motivating them. It's always the case. People don't want to believe what the country actually is.
Because what do I always tell you? White people are the inventors of fantasy. 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 The unreality of it all. Huh? Tell me I'm something that's wonderful and perfect. Even though it's not true at fucking all. Tell me something fantastic. You heard in recent times when they were debating, is America a racist country? We know it's a fucking racist country for the fact that white people exist. Done. Next subject. But they want to be told it's not, while they hold fucking hate in their heart. Again, the definition of hypocrites, the reason for the word to exist. Tell me something wonderful. Tell me something fantastical. You see, we don't want to believe that it is what it is. Well, it's not that because we say it's not. Huh? Trump's not a criminal because we say he's not.
It's the case. People don't want to believe what the country actually is.
And by the way, they're killing me with this white down here because I can't see the place of the damn progress of the damn video. I'm over it.
Because if they believe it, they're going to have to confront what's in them. I don't believe that. They voted for a crook.
I love how he said that. I love that the set is completely silent. That went out. They voted for a crook. A crook. A crook. And while someone's political leanings really shouldn't affect your relationship with them, in this case it should. Because this is not now just political leanings. This is a judgment on your character. Your character. This is no different, hear me now. This is no different than a father befriending his daughter's abuser. No different. And you gonna go marry him? Are you not gonna leave him? We can't allow this. This isn't just whether or not you think there should be universal health care or whether you think, whatever, politically. These people voted for a convicted felon that cannot be allowed to go by unchallenged. It can't be. This really is now the time when somebody voted for this fucker. That's it. I don't got shit to do with you. I'm good. Ain't shit else you can say to me. I'm done. Because there's nothing you're going to tell me. Nothing you're going to tell me. Just like there's no way I could vote for either one of these motherfuckers because of the murder that's going on in Gaza. It's nothing you're going to tell me. In my world, then there just don't need to be a fucking president. Fuck it. Or leave Biden in there or whatever you're going to do. But I'm not voting for somebody who can't tell me I'll stop the murder. You understand? Because as a black man, I know these are the same motherfuckers that can't find a fucking charge on a white motherfucking murderer in a fucking police costume that has murdered me. They can't find a charge. They can't find an indictment. You understand? These are the same motherfuckers that are killing the people in Gaza. They're not going to stand up for me. And part of why this whole thing is being allowed to be so public in Gaza is so it's supposed to send a signal. I always tell you, the white devil never changes. They play the same fucking song, Why Are We Getting Up to Dance? It's the same tired ass song. This is no different than how they used to gather all the slaves, when they would beat or lynch one of us. They're doing the same shit. This is the same serpent fucking devil. Stinking serpent devil. Fork tongue. Demonic thing. Let's go on. I'm getting worked up.
Is because if they believe it, they're going to have to confront what's in them. I don't believe that. They voted for a crook.
Love it.
A person who they know is stealing from, just doing everything to undermine the so-called country that they love. And then they're telling us the BS that it's economics. We know that's not true.
Wait, I missed the other shot of the sister.
There's this sense, right, that whiteness,
that was the first one,
is under threat. The demographic shifts. The country isn't what all of these racially ambiguous children on Cheerios commercials are confusing the hell out of me.
Eddie, a lot of people voted because
look, she looking at her like, really, bitch? Anything you say is some bullshit. Like, I already know. You feel me? See it.
People voted
look,
because their life's too damn expensive.
Look, the lowered eyelids on the sister, y'all already know. Y'all already know.
Because their life's too damn expensive. And it was here and
they voted for, you're telling me, Steffi, that all of these people who believe that their lives are, that bread is too high and eggs are too high, that they voted for a convicted fella, a guy who said we can grab the pea.
I think that a lot
they voted for this guy.
I'm not defending it.
And you know, wow. You know what? Let me do something else. There's another piece that I saw that I think is very fitting of what I'm presenting in this piece. This is perfect because it goes to my overall theme. And I want to keep this in this piece about exploring the experience that Black women are having with this election. And I want, and why I think it's important, everybody, is because we don't want to dismiss this as just another election and that Black women should just go away and be okay. Let's put aside for a moment that Kamala is not a Black woman in our view, you know. But let us also acknowledge, while we put that aside, let us all acknowledge this. Acknowledge this. Let's say this. Close your eyes now. Close your eyes. And for a moment, picture, just have Kamala's face in your mind's eye. We don't hear nothing about her parents. She just shows up. We see her. What we think of her. Open your eyes. You just saw a Black woman. You just saw what white folks see. That's all they see. And as I've made the case in a previous piece, she could have been like Obama. Instead of putting so much on her heritage and all the bullshit, she could have just said, I'm a Black woman, my mother's Indian, my father's Jamaican, and we would have been over it. We would have been over it. We saw Barack, we was like, that's a Black dude. When we found out more about him, we learned his mother was not only was she a white bitch, but she was white as snow, this bitch. White. His father is as black as they come. Blue black. Barack Obama Sr., rahimahullah. So, we knew that. But that's still a Black dude. But we had no problem. That's a Black dude. We learned that his white grandparents raised him at some point. That's fine. That's still a Black dude. We never questioned it. It was fine. Because we know that we're all victims of this white fucking genocide. We're still victims of the crime. And so, I myself sit not as dark in hue as I should be had the crime not been committed. You understand? We all got something in us because we're still at the crime scene in this bitch. This is still the crime scene. I'm very clear about that. This is still the goddamn crime scene. This is why it detests me when I hear these imposter ass fucking Jews talking about their sacredness of their goddamn 3.5 years, everybody. 3.5 years of a Holocaust, if it happened, was in another fucking country. Not here. Not here. And they went and took somebody else's land. We're still at the fucking crime scene, bitch. The ambulance didn't even show up. We still at the crime scene. Know this. Damn. So, I digress. So, in that context, black women, many black women, because like I said, we heard the ones that were like, she ain't black, she ain't black. That's fine. That's valid too. But I'm trying to keep you in the frame of mind of the thoughtful, reflective, sophisticated, educated black woman who is politically active and, socially aware and things like that. Because they outnumber Keisha. You understand? So I want you to be in that place to understand the nuance of this for our black women. This was not just another election. This was to be and could have been one diamond, just one, in the crown of their just ado, while they still struggle to hold all our shit together. You understand? It would have been a few teaspoons sweeter than even the election of Barack Obama for black women, I suggest to you. And that it was denied, and not just denied. Because I think, as black women always do, they lick their wounds and go on. This is down to the white meat because of who this was lost to. You see? It said to their heart, I'm so rejected that this woman who represents my education, my excellence, my sophistication, and all those things is not good enough over this fucking 90-year-old fucking orange fucking bronzed out fucking bleached fucking convicted felon? This is a stab wound for black women. I need you to know that. It's a stab wound. And I've had time to reflect on this attribute of all of this. This is a stab wound, everybody, for our women. So many of them. It's a stab wound. It's right up there with you are, you're an Olympic level athlete. And you've trained the fuck out of everything. You're ready. You got out there and you did whatever the event was. You know you won. You know you won. No, I don't need to give you an analogy. I'll give you an actual moment in history. Alhamdulillah. Remember the women's swim team? And this fucking white devil dude shows up proclaiming he suddenly had an epiphany and he's a transgender. and fucking swept the fucking everything. Now, those weren't black women, but you saw the devastation. And they were being told by everybody behind the scenes, their coaches, the people that run the shit, you need to just go along with this, otherwise we're going to wreck your shit. Just go along with this. And you had one chick that came out and she's been speaking out loud about it and everything and all that. But they had to just suck that up when they knew, first of all, this motherfucker ain't supposed to be here at fucking all. This is a woman's event. And they've trained and they spent money and they traveled and they've done it all and they've sacrificed. And you don't give it to this fucking thing? You know they was ready to pull out knives. That's how black women feel. This motherfucker ain't supposed to be here. And goddamn it all. That's how many of them feel. And as a community, we got to acknowledge that. And if you don't have those type of women in your orbit or in your circle, you don't know them, be on the lookout. So that when you do identify that you're in their presence, give comfort and understanding. And say, I really do respect and know where you're coming from. I know how you feel. Even if I can't know the depth of it, I know how you feel. Offer that. Because this is a stab wound. And if that's just not clear enough for you, I'll give you one more. Just imagine if McCain had won over Obama. Remember, McCain, rest his soul, could not lift his arms above his shoulders because of some war injury, something he had going on. He could barely open his mouth. I used to say when he spoke, he looked like he was trying to hide the fact that his breath stink or something like that, just because of the way he spoke. He was 150,000 years old. We had the carbon dating. We had all the data stats on. He's 150,000. We know it. We have it. And think how we would have felt if that fucking dude had won over Obama. What? And just for bonus points, not that we needed it, but you look at his wife, no, dowdy white bitch, next to statuesque supermodel Michelle Obama. That's just bonus. You feel just bonus. Bonus. We didn't need it. We had all the excellence we needed. We just have bonus on bonus on bonus. Just all bonuses. You feel me? So think how we would have felt. So I hope I've made that clear. I can't beat it with the stick anymore. This is now my quintessence piece. Hear this.
If you've never been to Atlanta Airport, there's a rotating art exhibition just as you're leaving Terminal T. You're headed out to baggage claim, going to your car. There are glass cases on either side. And they're usually filled with works by local artists. And I love those shows. So usually, I stop to check out the new pieces. But there was one particular day, 2016. It was March 15th. One portrait stopped me. And this is it. The name of it is Grandma's Glory. It's by Atlanta artist David Roby, an elderly black woman, bare feet, hair braided, in a simple wooden chair, wrapped in the American flag. I was awestruck. I couldn't move. I know I was in the way and people were rushing by. I just could not take my eyes off of this. It's a stunning image, but also because we don't see black women like this featured in patriotic works, right? Black women in Americana. I later learned that it was inspired by photographs of Miss Milbertha Hendricks.
Looked just like her.
She was wrapped in an American flag blanket after Hurricane Katrina. She was waiting to be evacuated in New Orleans. But there's an important difference between the photo and the painting. If you look closely at the woman in this painting, she's not just wrapped in the flag. Look at her hands. Needle and thread.
Boom.
I sat with this image this week.
That
Again,
got me.
awestruck, but for a different reason. 91% of black women, according to CNN exit polls, voted for Vice President Kamala Harris to become
You
the
see what I'm talking about? 91% of black women. And as he's going to tell you, that was the highest of anybody voting for any particular group, sector, or test point. Black women were voting for this lady at 91%. And after seeing that painting and everything that I've said to you, you could understand. But hear these data points he's giving now. Just a second.
91% of black women, according to CNN exit polls, voted for Vice President Kamala Harris to become the first black woman president of the United States. Now, black women were 7% of the electorate. No other demographic across race or gender, age, income, education, married, rural, suburban, nobody supported either candidate so abundantly.
You understand that statistic? In other words, suppose black men, there wasn't 91% of black men that voted for her or Trump. If you look at just anybody 18 to 20 or some shit, there was no 90% of that group that voted for him or her. If you look at just uneducated, there was no 90% for him or her. In other words, this is the only category where it was 91%. Black women voted for this woman 91%, period. You understand? Period. Go on.
Now, black women have long been the backbone of the Democratic Party, but it warrants repeating. 91%. And less important than who they voted for is what they say they were voting for. Because you know what the most important issue for Harris voters was? According to CNN exit polls, it was not foreign policy. It wasn't the economy. It wasn't immigration. It wasn't abortion rights. It was American democracy.
Boom. Boom. You see? Again, it's that natural thing that our women have of holding it all together. All of it. All of it.
Think of it. This is a country that has never elected a black woman governor. Of the more than 11,500 members of Congress in the...
Think about that. Hear this now. Say it again. Wait now. Wait.
Of the more than...
Has never elected a black woman governor anywhere in the country. And we saw what happened to Stacey Abrams. They stole the fucking shit from her. You understand? Listen, everybody, we got to get about the business of blackness. I'm over fucking white people till I'm dead. I'm very clear about that. Anybody that knows me knows that. Even white people that know me know that. But what my people need to understand is I'm also completely over and also dead to me are inclusive as black people. Fuck you. I wish death on you like I do my enemy. We got to be 100% black about black. That's it. That's it. And anybody that's not on that page needs to fucking go. Gotta go. But we saw how they did Stacey Abrams. You understand?
This is a country that is...
Because they're clear about their whiteness. We got to get clear about our blackness.
Never elected a black woman governor. Of the more than 11,500 members...
11,500...
of Congress...
members of Congress...
in the history of America...
in the history of the country. 11,500 congressional people. In Congress... 60 have been black women. Out of 11,500, 60 black women
have been black women. That's about 0.5%. And next session, 2 black women will serve in the Senate together for the first time.
But are they really black women? See, sadly, we have to ask that too. We see black faces, but are they black though? You see? Are we going to find out that one of them is a Republican? Are we going to find out that one of them is with that inclusive bullshit or doesn't know if the white man is the devil? Are they on some they married to somebody? Blackness is supposed to come with guarantees, everybody. Like an American Express. By the way, does anybody still use that anymore? I don't know. Anyways. I don't do credit cards. I'm Muslim. We don't do credit cards. But again, blackness is supposed to come with a guarantee. When I see my brother, I know that's my brother. I know already. I'm supposed to know. So, I don't jump up and down when I see, oh, we got 2 new black faces. We'll see if we got 2 new black faces. We'll see.
Senate together for the first time.
Wait, they're going to the Senate? Did they say? That's significant. I didn't hear that.
Have been black women. That's about 0.5%. And next session, 2 black women will serve in the Senate together.
The Senate? Anybody can go to Congress. That's nothing. But you don't get to be a senator. You understand? We've only had 4. I think Kamala was the 4th one. Barack was the 3rd since Reconstruction, and I think somebody then took his seat or something. I don't remember now. Anyways, we're only. I don't think we're up to 5 yet, but that would be extraordinary if you get 2. And of those, Carol Moseley Braun was the only woman, and Kamala Harris. Now it'd be these 2 sisters. So, I really want to know who they are now. Look for a piece on them.
Together for the first time ever. Angela also Brooks of Maryland and Lisa Bunt Rochester of Delaware. And still, so many black women voted to protect the democracy of a country, let's make it plain here, that for centuries denied their grandmothers and their great-grandmothers full participation in it. So yeah, I sat with this painting this week. Grandma's glory now hangs in my home. And as I've listened to the black women who voted for Vice President Harris and who say they voted for democracy and are frustrated and hurt, I understand it a little bit more. Black women, needle and thread, mending the flag.
I love that. That was very powerful. And I certainly when he was showing when he showed this painting, which looks just like this woman in every single way, like the artist really captured her, dude. And then to know that this actual picture of her is right after Hurricane Katrina. So she's out in the element, and she's one of the many elderly people we saw being wheeled in wheelchairs, and they were sitting in chairs and things like that, and just when everything was still a nightmare, whenever it just but yeah, that's powerful, man. That's powerful. Last thing, I don't know if this is the last thing I want to say, because I don't know if I want this to be the footnote that I leave with, but I'm over this too, everybody. I'm seeing more and more on social media. I'm seeing males fighting women as if the female is a dude. I'm sick of that shit. I'm sick of the shit, and it seems like every time I see it, I see other males that are laughing and giggling about the shit. From school kids fighting up some girl in their classroom to I saw some teenagers beating up like a 3rd grader on a bus, a female. What the fuck? Like, this is, oh my God. By Allah, I swear, if that shit happens in my presence, that's gonna be a dead somebody. I mean, just all out. All out. Like, no remorse, like, that's a big, listen, I come from where, that's a barrier you don't cross. Give a fuck what a woman is, a female, a woman, a child, a girl has done. You don't strike her. You don't do that. Oh my God. Wow, man. What made me say that is because of what I'm about to say. I was about to say, let us stop taking our women for granted as men and as boys, goddammit. Let us stop taking our women and our girls for granted, everybody. I've been saying forever, since before you knew me. When I speak about the attack upon our community by this white devil, I've said to you, if you're going to be a bitch for everything else and a punk, the thing that should take all bets off the fucking table is when you dare to put a hand on our women or our girls. That's when all fucking bets are off and all civility is out the door. That should be it. And I brought you a video years ago that proved my claim. I showed you there was a African Muslim brother that was in an airport somewhere, and these white devil police were fucking with him. That was all fine. But the moment they touched his queen, he mopped that fucking airport with both of them by himself. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. And we got to get to a place. I've said this over the years. I'm like a scratch record up in here. We got to get to a place where we understand that we have to earn the love, respect, and admiration of our women. And we're not giving them no reason to do that. They're just loyal to us just because now. We're not earning it. We're not earning it. We're not earning it. They cannot look to us for safety or provision or love. That's the big three right there. Safety, provision, and love. We can't even do that. I don't know why they fuck with us. The Jedi has spoken.